Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the next episode of podcast with BL Inside Circle. Today, we have a very unique guest because he's not from a corporate background. He is a filmmaker, to be precise. He has done editing. He is a writer. He writes, edits, and directs. He was a first AD in one of the schedules of the movie Tenet, of the entire schedule for movie Gully Boy. Talash was one of his important films in his career. So his name is Prince Shah, and welcome, Prince, to the podcast, and hello from everyone at IIM Kozhikode.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
So
How are you?
let's. We are doing great. Thank you so much for agreeing to be part of this.
Yeah, not at all.
So let's jump on to the first question. Please tell us more about your journey. I just know briefly that you have done more than 50 films, more than 5, 6 feature films, and been part of so many Hindi film as well as English Hollywood also. So apart
Yeah.
from Talash, Ghost, Mission Impossible, Ghost Protocol, just tell us about your journey because I'm fanboying right now.
To be honest, I personally feel I haven't done much, honestly. So I started my career with Ashutosh Gowarikar. I assisted in a film which no one saw. It's called Khele Hum Ji Jaan Se. And it had Abhishek Bachchan and Deepika. It was my first film. And before that, I used to do theater. So in college, I used to do theater for 5 years. And I must have done like 50, 60 odd plays, like one act plays to street plays to musical theater to all kind of genres, black comedy, spoofs, to plays based on Hindi literature, Vyang. So theater was a founding thing for me, like an entry point for me as an artist because I was also discovering myself. Because when you are doing theater, you are on stage. With me, I was also writing, directing, lighting. I was learning everything, and we had a great team. So my first play, I had Imtiaz Ali's brother Sajid Ali, who was a part of the play. Then there was Parag Mehta, who is now a casting director, a famous guy. He's casted for Bajirao Mastani and Ram Leela and around 40, 50 films. And now also we are all very good friends. Like we are very close. So I did theater, and then I left theater because I always wanted to get into films. And I assisted Ashutosh Gowarikar, and then because I used to act also from college, 5 and 6 of us were taken to Mauritius for a film called Faltu. चार बज गए पर party अभी बाकी है. So we acted in a
Oh
film called
yes.
Faltu. So there are college students, so you will see me also a thin guy. Like, in fact, I have a role, I have a proper role that I can't speak properly in the film, and then Jackie Bhagnani comes in my life and he gives me a pencil, and Faltu University mein I can speak after Jackie Bhagnani does magic tricks. So there is a whole track. It's still there in the film, and it's funny. They dub my voice, of course. So all like 7, 8 friends, we went to Mauritius. It was a 1 month shoot, out of which 10 days were holidays. So we partied, we like gambled, we cycled, we scuba dived. We had a lot of fun in Mauritius. Trolled Ritesh Deshmukh, Arshad Varsi. We were like junior artist actors, and we enjoyed that. And then coming back to India again because I wanted to write and direct. So I did a film called Gandhi of the Month. It's not released yet. The producer of Udan had produced. It had Harvey Keitel. So that was like a first indie Hollywood kind of a setup where we had international crew also, and we had Indian crew also. Rasul Pukatti, DOP from Turkey. First Eddie has only done international projects called Raj Acharya. He worked on Slumdog Millionaire and he's a legend. So I bonded with Raj sir, and then Raj sir Mission Impossible में काम किया. Then I worked with him on many projects, including Talash. So long story short, I assisted for a while, and then I took a break after Talash and Satyamev Jayate, like that series of Amir. I had worked on the promo of Satyamev Jayate, and after that, I kind of got bored that I don't want to AD. Because ADing is not creative. So I started writing. I started making short films. I started directing music videos, all indie, all collaborating with the same college friends इनके साथ I used to do theater. And then because of college, someone just because I used to be a hero in college in terms of doing theater, someone trusted me and gave me a job. My first ad film, which had Pratik Gandhi, the famous scam actor, as a junior artist, and Mansi Parekh Gohil. She was the producer and she was the main lead of the ad film. It was for Jaya Travels. It's still there. It's a very amateur film now, if you see. But I directed it in 2012, if I'm not wrong. So it was like a 4 or 5 lakh ad, and it was a big thing for me. So after that, I kept getting projects because of goodwill, because people believing in me, because I'm very easy person. I'm very simple. I'm very transparent and blunt. So people kept giving work, and then here I am. Not that I have reached anywhere, but yeah. Uh, Also, one thing is that I keep doing stuff in the sense that I like putting myself in different adventures. So I got an opportunity to work with Dalai Lama, so I got into that project, and that project had gotten shelved in 2016-17. I thought kuch hoga nahi, and then just last month I got to know that the film is selected in the Cannes market, and the film is actually over, and Anushka Shankar has given music, and it's now they've scaled up the film. So I was really happy. The first film where I've got credits on the poster of the film. So yeah, I mean, I have like through Facebook, I someone from San Francisco contact me that they want to shoot a documentary in Bombay. They want a location. I said I have a location. I would help you because I love dogs. And then I got to know that Nasiruddin Shah is going to be in that location, and the film is about water conservation and pollution, and it's called Surya Ganga. It's on Netflix. So I
Yeah.
kept doing, and opportunities kept coming in my life, and I still feel that I'm an indie guy. Like, of course, I worked on Tenet or I worked on Galibar Kalash. I have the indie spirit in me, which I really cherish. So yeah,
Of
I
course,
hope
of
I
course.
could
I
have.
would.
Yeah.
I would love to hear more about the Tenet journey because you were, if you're the first AD at Tenet India schedule, were you reporting to
Yeah.
directly Christopher Nolan, or like how was the experience?
So I was not the first AD actually on Tenet. My senior Udayan Baijal was the first AD on Tenet on the
Okay.
Indian schedule. I was a part of the AD team, and I had applied for DA's job. Like in films, we have AD, assistant director, and we have DA, which is director's assistant. So I had like two interviews with Christopher Nolan's right hand, Andy Thompson, because Nolan doesn't have a phone, he doesn't have email. Andy Thompson is the
Oh my
guy
God.
to reach Nolan. So he took my interview, and I thought I did really great. I was nervous, but I went all out. And then I get an email that I am rejected. I didn't get the job. So I told one of my friend that he was working in the film as an AD, Ashish. I told him, hey, I texted him at 4 because I got the mail at 3, and I was editing that time with a friend. So I was disappointed for half an hour, and I messaged Ashish, and I slept at 6 o'clock in the morning. I was very sad that, hey, Ashish, all the best for the film. You are working with. And then at 11, he called me and he said, dude, come to Taj. We had our office in Taj in Kolaba because we were shooting mostly in Kolaba. So our setup was in, our office was in Taj. So he said, you are now a part of the AD team. Why don't you join? So I was like, wow. So yeah, this was like a disappointment, but then because we are all Nolan fans, like I love Interstellar. Everyone likes different movies of his, but I cry when I watch Interstellar. Yeah, the film has a
Yeah.
huge impact on me. And of course, Nolan. I loved working with Nolan, and we interacted like twice and thrice. First day only, मैंने उनको धक्का भी दिया, and he was kind of उनको लग गया था because we were all doing all kind of work like ADs. I had to do background action, and we gave everything to that film because it was Nolan and it was first day. So yeah, I mean, it was a great experience. I really cherish it because I had a blast, and because all ADs were all people I love, and we have worked from 2011. So it was a great experience. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Working with Nolan, and yeah, with Dimple and the crew and the cast.
Coming from Tenet only, our next question to you is: what is the basic difference or the major differences between, say, a scheduling or working in a Hindi film versus working in a Tenet or a Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol? Are they is the myth, or do we read when we read in the newspapers that they are more professional or they are more this? Our actors are not punctual. Is this true? Like, how was your experience as an AD, as a unit member?
So I'll tell you one thing. Like this first AD system came from Hollywood. First film was Lagan. Before Lagan, no, Lagan and Dil Chahta Hai were the first film to get the first AD system. उसके पहले 90s में ना देयर यूज्ड टू बी एसोसिएट डायरेक्टर एंड डायरेक्शन डिपार्टमेंट, क्लैपर बॉय, ये कंटिन्यूटी देखता है एंड ऑल दैट. So there was no structure. So because Apurva Lakhia, who directed also a couple of films, he learned, like he was in Hollywood, he came to India, he got the first AD system. Reema Kakti was on Lagan. Zoya Akhtar also worked on a film called Kama Sutra as an AD to Deepa Mehta. So they all got this first AD system and structure came into cinema. Now, like everyone is on time, like be it Ranveer or Alia, Amir, Rani, Karina, whichever actor I have worked with, they have to be on time because we have a call sheet and there are call timings and everything is on paper. Everything is really structured and there are educated people on the job. Not that 90s mein uneducated the, but it was more of like Govinda is coming 7 hours late and producer ka paisa atka hua hai. Right now it's very professional. And so I felt the same. Yeah, working on Gully Boy and Tenet was similar only because just that Tenet had some action sequences here in Bombay. So we had insane amount of safety protocols. Like we had around like 20. We had a marine department जो मैंने अपने life में नहीं सुना था because we were shooting near Gateway inside a boat. So we had a whole marine crew only to check waves and check the क्या पानी का ठहराव है and what's going to happen and also it was insane. So that's the kind of structure they bring. Same with Gully Boy also, we had our own kind of challenges and it was similar for me to work because it's Excel Productions and it's like they follow protocols, they follow paperwork a lot and we love paperwork as ADs. So not that we should not improvise because we also have to improvise, varna we'll become machines. But as an AD, everything is on paper and you cannot go wrong if your prep is strong. Like even now when I'm directing, I tell all my associates, juniors that if you want to be a filmmaker or a director, you have to have a strong pre-production. Shooting is easy. It's the most easiest part is to shoot because you will have readings with your actors, you will vibe with your actors, your hair, makeup, wardrobe is done, your production design is done. You just have to show up on set and shoot. Sorry to come back to the question, but it's similar. Like everything is now because our actors now, young actors are professional and everyone is on time and there is nothing, only safety or some minor issues which we have here. That's also because of budgets.
Was it difficult to say manage if you're assuming you're shooting at a real location, say for Gully Boy? I don't know if you shot at a real location or no. Was it difficult to say manage real crowds because if they get to know that a star like an Alia or a Ranveer Singh is shooting, they will go mad.
Yeah.
So how do you, because is this job of a AD or is this does this come under production department also to manage crowds and manage the set?
No, so managing set is AD's job, but managing crowd is production department, and we have bouncers, we have security. We shot Gully Boy in Dharavi. We had a whole set of slums in Dharavi, in the peak of Dharavi. We had junior artists, secondary cast from Dharavi. Because Zoya, the way she directs, she's always very authentic. So we shot in Dharavi. We shot, so for the only negative point for me working on Gully Boy is my Uber rating went down. Because every day I used to go to Dharavi and then was leke to jata tha, but while going back, he used to give me like 1 star. So my rating of Uber went really low thanks to Gully Boy. And like I now I talk to Uber guys and plead them meko 5 star do. But long story short, jokes apart, we shot in slums and Ranveer and Alia are huge stars and every time we used to rap unke गाड़ी के पास like हजारों में लोग रहते थे but slowly करके उनको please बोल के जाते थे. Secondly, after 1 week or 2 weeks, even like the people in area were kind of bored because it's the same thing and they don't they are seeing the same star. So only initially for the first week they were excited. After that they were not excited because they are also very busy. Dharavi has a huge industry, as you know. So and everyone's busy there. So it was a beautiful energy because people actually supported us and people believed in the film because it was a film from the streets. Like the rappers came from the streets, right? Like based on Divine and the other guy. I forget his name.
Correct.
The energy point of how important do you think is maintaining a positive vibe or positive energy inside the team, inside the production team, that's actually interacting with all the so millions and millions of stakeholders?
See, that's my secret actually. My secret is now I know personally I am not a good filmmaker. I'm being very honest. I'm a very limited filmmaker in terms of talent because I know my colleagues or my best friend, like when he is directing or when he's writing, uh, they are far more superior and talented. So I'm saying my close friends and all, they are far more talented and superior. But where I score is that I have a good happy set. Like I crack jokes and I get away with it. I don't tell people that I'm insecure as a director, but I like to have a happy set. No politics. Like even when I was a first AD, I never used to believe in gossiping or bitching because a lot of people have departments and every department bitches about the other department. But I always tell my juniors when I'm a first AD that look at the film, look at the bigger picture. You're working here for the film, not to make groups or bitch about anyone. So I have theater taught us to be together, to be a team player, to collaborate together. Everyone is an equal player, director ho, yeah, spot boy ho. So I always keep a happy set, and energy is the most important thing for me, which I learned from Zoya and Nolan because even Zoya, she works with all her friends. Her hair person, makeup, wardrobe, everyone is a friend. Like they've been working with her since her first film. So they are all very happy when they work and make a film together because everyone is like a family. They treat everyone with a lot of respect. So she plays a lot on energy. It's not about I am the director, I will say no. It's always about let's make a kick-ass film together. So that is what I've learned from Zoya or even Nolan actually. The thing about Nolan, where everyone says that there are no chairs on his set, it is actually true because he wants everyone to just be standing and focusing on the film, no cell phones allowed. And although he was not so strict in India, but because I interacted with ADs there and different departments, they were actually fried working on Tenet because before India dogs and families. So that is the way, that is the passion director brings, an energy which the director brings, which actually all of us vibe and kind of play with it, feed off. So yeah,
Right. Right.
energy is
Right.
very
Right.
important for me. Even now when I go to direct and add, no, in the morning when I go, I reach set and light boys know, they laugh के अरे आज ये prince आया, आज बहुत मजा आएगा set पे. So that is my day is done. Like in the morning only I'm happy. I don't care about the agency of client now because I'm so happy that we are starting only on a very happy note. Everyone is smiling. One last thing, directors are not great people. We are just a part of the service industry. Whatever is written on paper, we are just like visually trying to achieve. Of course, like directing has a lot of other things also, managing everything. But I feel writing is more sacred and more superior, and it's the writer's medium, filmmaking or cinema. So, I mean, a director has to be humble and has to be a team player. Varna, he'll be lonely.
Correct. I completely concur with this part because even I, during my engineering, I have done a couple of plays. So I remember my director during that time used to compliment Sharman Joshi. That at one point in time, you must know that you must have known that before movie Sharman, I think he still does theater. He still is a producer in one of the theater plays. So he used to always compliment that Sharman, apart from being a great actor, he's a very good people person. When you go to his theater company or his play or his even his grand rehearsals, everybody's so happy and jolly that the final
Yeah,
product comes out to be so cool and so happy.
yeah,
So the energy it set is so important. So I completely concur with this point.
yeah.
Taking cues from your journey from being a director to entering into writing, how do you see that going on?
I mean, I just started actually, and majorly because like now the next step was to direct, and we were not. I was not getting good scripts, so the next good thing, common thing, which came to my mind is to write. Because if I'm not getting good scripts, I can't complain, and I don't want to AD. So I started writing, and then Baman Irani sir came into my life. Baman Irani, the famous actor, has been teaching us and around 300 to 400 people writing since the last 1 year for free, selflessly. And he has
Wow.
done a course in writing from USA, and his guru is the writer of Birdman, Alexander, and he taught Baman sir writing, and Baman sir was actually thinking before. Baman sir just started teaching only 4 people, like just generally how we are chatting, and those 4 people called more people, and then this whole thing called Spiral Bound, which came, and I think today was the 375th writing class. Even today we had like at 11. So every day we have class from 11 to 1 in the afternoon, and it's incredible what he has done for us. Like he has been teaching us selflessly. Sometimes we have guest lecturers like Sham Benegal, Rajkumar Hirani, and Alexander also came twice. So it's a delight, and we form a great community of writers. So we bounce ideas of each other, and also what happened is me and my close friend, we started writing, and now we are writing every day. Like I have personally in my routine become a very disciplined person when it comes to writing. Otherwise, I'm a very lazy procrastinator kind of a guy. So yeah, writing is a great. It's giving me a lot of joy and a lot of pain. Yeah.
Nice, nice. Taking this cue from you that in this creative field, in this creative industry, it can be a scenario that you work on something and it doesn't come out to be good, or the project is delayed for some reason. And
Yeah.
like the movie about Dalai Lama you were talking about. So it
Yeah.
can happen with an MBA grad also, or with a normal person also, that you work on something and it just doesn't come out, or it gets delayed gratification hota hai ya hota hi nahi hai. So how do you deal with this in the meantime, like 3-4 years or 2 months, 4 months, jo time nahi hota hai? Do you feel lost? Do you feel dejected? Do you move on? What is it
So
like?
I tell you, I'm also the brand ambassador of failure and rejection, because I made for 6 years. I followed one character, and we made a 80-minute film, and we got rejection from everywhere in the world for post production funds. Even now, when I send it to a festival, spending a lot of money, like around $80-90, it is getting rejected. But we, when I say we, it's the crew. We still believe in the film so much that we love the film so much, and we know that we are not delusional. We have arrogance in our head that the world is not ready for the film. So, but for the world, for my friends, they know I'm a failed documentary filmmaker, and like good friends, like when we crack jokes. But it really pains you when you put your heart, soul, effort, money, time, everything on a film, and then that film is getting rejected from everywhere. So I don't know how to answer this, because great thing if you are failing, which I realize now. I organically, in the process of making that documentary, one of the characters became a very good friend of mine, and we started a production house. Now, after like that production house, we started in 2015. This film is started in 2013, and it's still going on, like 2021, almost 8-9 years. Matlab going on, matlab film ready, and now we are sending it to festivals. Today only I posted on Instagram that I want a poster designer, because now I want to design the poster, make the trailer. So the one of the subject made a company with me, production house, and he left that company 2 years ago. But thanks to that production house, I in the lockdown only I must have worked on 70-80 projects. Yeah, from Ritik Roshan to KL Rahul. We've done some insane amount of work. Like last week, I directed and produced Pratik Gandhi for 2 films for Wow. So it's going crazy now. I'm directing Rohit Saraf, and Janvi Kapoor, my colleague, is directing. So it's crazy. Like so, I'm saying rejection will teach you a lot. Like it taught me how to take shots. What is documentary was thanks to this film, because I never thought I will make documentaries, because for me documentaries are boring. मैं ऐसा सोचता था. But this character, this subject came into my life, and everything changed. So the film is called Moon on the Man, and it is about the youngest freedom fighter of India, who later worked with one of the greatest filmmakers of India, Guru Dutt, and then got associated with the creator of James Bond, Sir Ian Fleming in America. And today he lives in the red light area of Bombay and sings songs. So through this old character, I question human reality. So इतना fascinating character मेरे life में आया, तो I never thought that it will take so much time, because documentary does take a lot of time. So it gave me a lot of pain, a lot of failure. But now I'm so proud of the film. For me, validation is not important now. Like failure is extremely important. Failure is more important than success. Trust me when I'm saying this. Because when you are success, no, at a young age, you kind of think you know it. But if you are getting rejected, if you are getting failed, it is important because you will introspect and you will do a SWOT analysis, and then you will come back with a bang. But don't give up. We had my crew and me, we've cried, we've gotten depressed. We have questioned films like at festivals that ye film kaise select hua? Why is our film not selected? Like we are so still arrogant, but it's okay. It's okay to be rejected. We have like failure is not celebrated in today's world. It should be celebrated because we only see influencers or like people with million followers, but the amount of hard work they put, the amount of rejection they must have faced, we don't see. So it should be celebrated, and it's okay to be a failure and rejected. The important thing is you tried. So I personally, I'll be a bad filmmaker if my destiny has that, but I'll try. I'll not give up or become cynical or become a critic, Like I will try, I will keep trying, and I know I will learn on the job, and I'll make a good, sweet film. That's my purpose, to try.
Asking about the bigger picture, where do you think, or what, according to you, films these days are going to be? Is it more commercially driven? I'm asking about both Hollywood plus Bollywood,
Yeah.
or is it more about the social causes or the not documentaries? I'm talking about normal films
Picture,
and
yeah.
movies only. But is it just a money making business, or is there something more for the creative people like you and the other departments?
See, filmmaking is an expensive business, so there has to be an ROI. There has to be a return on investment because it's very expensive as a medium. Like a day on a film set would cost us around 6 to 8 lakhs if we are making like a good film, location, production design, wardrobe, crew, everything, lighting, like all kind of department. The thing is, ऐसा no one thinks let's make a social film and then let's write a social film. It's just that as a filmmaker, as an artist, what is relatable to me, I will express. Zoya and Rima were at Haji Ali and they wrote Talash. Or they Zoya from her teenage time, she used to go for long drives, and she wanted to make a film after Luck by Chance, a fun film. So she made Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara. It came from a life. Like a lot of things come from the writer's life which they bring on table. Now after the film is made, people might say it's a film related to social cause, or it's a film, let's be sensitive to the prostitutes. Agar Talash mein, if you analyze, but the film is how to deal with loss. You might sympathize as an audience with the kind of life a police inspector goes through in Bombay or in a city. You might feel it's a socially relevant film, but no, it's a film which came from, for all good filmmakers, basically we crack a theme first and then we write. So ऐसा नहीं है कि we are conscious कि हम let's make a socially relevant film. That's a dishonest filmmaker. That's not a good filmmaker. And of course, money is important because to survive, in the sense that how Anurag Kashyap works is he wants to make films to make little money so that he keeps making movies. After Bombay Velvet flopped, he made Raman Raghav in a very tight budget because he's a filmmaker. He's not a businessman. He wants to keep making films. We will question the choice of films he makes. I didn't like his last film, but he keeps making one film a year, which is great because he enjoys the process of writing, directing, filming, and even now he's in Cannes as we talk. So I'm saying it's a business is what the producer brings, but for us writers, directors, artists, it is what we want to say. Because if I ask you both also your favorite films, it will say a lot about your characters. Like if I genuinely ask, like you and like I'll push you and ask you which is the favorite film. So whichever touched your heart will be a film which you will say, and that was not, yeah. So
Yeah.
it reflects because the writer and the director want to say something, and then like Sherni, recently a film came out, Sherni. They wanted to
Vidya
talk
Balan.
about the Vidya Balan. So they were clear they want to make a socially relevant film. The question you asked, and that film is actually a very pure film. There is no item song, or there is no baggage of a mainstream Hindi film. If you see that film, it's a very indie film. And it's a so even he made Newton, and that is the approach he's taking. And the question you asked was, where do you see Hollywood and Bollywood films? I think more films like them, because our younger generation who are watching movies are also changing and they're educated. So they do want entertainment, but they also want to see a new world. Like, wow, what is going on in India in terms of tigers or lions? So because we have TikTok, we have Instagram, we have Twitter. For entertainment, we have so much right now: YouTube, sketches, stand-up comedy. So I think cinema say people want to take something back home also now. When I was growing up in the 90s, David Dhawan was a huge director, and I love Govinda, I love David Dhawan. Not taking anything away from that, but those kind of films will not work. Like Coolie #1 didn't work with Varun Dhawan. So that time is gone, I feel strongly, and which is a good thing because audience is changing.
100%, 100%. In fact, last few questions before we wrap up. The quality, this is what as a viewer I feel, because you can see from my poster that I'm a complete filmy guy. So from the pandemic time, or from the first lockdown, which was last year March, we have seen a
Yeah.
lot of quality series, quality short films, quality web series coming onto OTT platforms. But now
Hmm.
it's been extended because of the lockdown again, or because of the third wave, second wave. That, do you think that over or more and more content coming to OTT will again drop the quality down, and again we'll have so we are reaching a plateau, or do you think the quality will again go up, will keep going up?
See, I mean, it's not like a factory, that we are making products. It's like we will fail, we will succeed. The thing is, but if you are selective, and if I tomorrow make a good series or a good film, a word of mouth will actually force you to watch a film. Like, I know that a particular film came last week is not that great in Hindi. It came on OTT platform. I'm not going to watch it because I saw the reviews. My friends told me it's a bad film, so I will not waste time. But a Malayalam film which came, a friend recommended. It's called Malik. They made it in the lockdown with Fahd Fasil, one of the greatest actors of India today. His film Malik. So I will watch it because I have that exposure, like you and like you, like all of us now, because of internet. So we are also very selective about what we watch, about the time we have, because we can't be watching everything. There is content for every kind of person in the world right now. So I feel quality is also very subjective. A particular kind of Saas Bahu kind of stuff doesn't appeal to me. Same with you guys. Like, but my mom watches it and they are happy watching Anupama or whatever they watch. So I watch it on my desktop and they watch it on the television. So everyone coexists, and when there is a big film, we watch it together. Like, I mean, not Radhe, but a good film. Like, we know it's going to be a good film. So, like, I saw Sherni with my family, or Skater Girl I worked on. I don't recall any film. But what I'm trying to say is that quality is very subjective. A, B, it's trial and error. Definitely, films like Radhe won't work now because of bad scripts. Because Salman did do good work in Bajrangi Bhaijaan. He did. If you give him a good script, he will come up with something nice. So Race 3, Radhe won't work now. Like, people are bored of making memes and trolling also now.
I agree. I completely agree with you.
Before we conclude, I had just one simple question. How does
Yeah.
a day look like for an assistant director?
I mean, now, of course, I have stopped aiding, but like, it all depends. If we are working on a project, we have to wake up at 4 or 5, depending on where the locations are. We have to reach at a particular time, say 6:37. Then we are on the set whole day. Like, every different ADs has different structure and different work to do. Third AD has to do background action. He has to make sure the junior artists are getting ready in hair, makeup, wardrobe. उन्होंने breakfast किया कि नहीं, and then every sequence we have to do. We have to design the shot. with the help of our first AD and the director. So it's like a 12-hour day, and then you come back home and sleep, and again wake up and go for work. So people think it's a very glamorous job, but it's not. We have to stand on a set in heat and dealing with all kind of pressures and all kind of madness. So you can watch that making of Lagan Chale Chalo. It's on Netflix. You can see the amount of insane work happens behind the screen. So as an AD, तो ये होता है, but and then you wait between projects. But as a director, now I'm watching movies, I'm writing, I'm reading about creativity. Before lockdown, I used to go to museums to just check work, just investing myself in art. And also movies or art comes from life. So living life also, which all of us do. So nothing special, but being very observant, reading, and investing time in art.
I have actually seen the documentary which you're talking about, the Lagan documentary, and one of the things which I want to ask you is about in that documentary, Amir kept saying that they shot up the budget almost 3 to 4 times. It was
Yes.
around 10 CR or 12 CR, and then when it actually got completed, it was close to maybe double of that. So,
Yes.
how does this work? In this case, in Lagan case, though Amir was himself the producer, Amir and his wife. But if
Yeah.
you are working on a new project, how difficult it is to keep the budget on check in check?
So that's the production ka job. In the making only, there is a part where Amir's wife, she comes from Bombay, Reena, and she bajaus everyone, and everyone is really sad actually, because they are like, you either shoot fast or stop the film. So she spoke like a producer. Even Amir was shocked, and Amir was very happy that he saw a different side of his wife, because every day, every minute on set is money. So even I, as a director, or I have never faffed, like we never waste time on set, because everything is money, and we have to shoot, because if I'm talking and just chilling on set, it's wasting my shoot time. So that is why we always push every department. But there is a film called Mughal Azam, one of the greatest films, and K. Asif was the director, a great director, and the producer spent so much money, and it is insane amount of money. Lagan se bhi zyada, like that story is fascinating, because here, so Amir here was the producer of Lagan, and for him, he had finance from Jammu Sugand, and he had support, and he believed in the script. Not that the producer of Mughal Azam didn't believe in the script, they did. But after making the film in black and white and one song in color, the director tells the producer, why don't we reshoot the whole film in color? And the producer was like going to commit suicide. They're like, yeah, are you mad? So that is what K. Asif is, because as a director, they're like, I'm saying it's never ending. So sometimes budget do go up, and there is always a buffer which the production department, the producer keeps. So sometimes budget goes up, to marketing ka budget kam ho jata hai. It's all normal as long as it's not going insane. So it's a part of a process. It's a very risky business also. And that is why a passionate producer like Amir will give Dugna Lagan, Tigna Lagan to produce, because the script was fabulous. The script is online, and if you guys can read, because some of the scenes are not there in the film, but it's just beautiful how they made the film. So you
I
need
think
to be
it's
mad.
available on. Yeah. I think the script is available on Film Companion website or.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm saying you need to be passionate, because if I'm thinking as a producer in terms of मैं 15 crore डालूंगा and I'll get 25 crore, everything will go wrong, because film is feeling. What is cinema? It's a feeling, right? You have posters behind you, is because you look up to those films or characters, because something has done within you to change. So art is to change, right? Art का बहुत बड़ा influence है, which is not tangible. Like for you guys, because you guys are in MBA or finance or corporate, Excel sheet or anything is tangible. Like if you are making a product also, if there is a pen you are making, I can see the pen. Like देखो pen का budget क्या है, ये क्या है. It's so nice, refill and all. But not in cinema. It's about feeling. What made you feel? And the times we are in, everyone has an opinion, everyone tweets. So it's more difficult for filmmakers to make a film which pleases everyone. So it won't. That I know. Like we have a reality check, but the only thing we can do is make honest cinema. So yeah, borrowing from your life, my life, and making an honest film.
Nice, nice.
I
Thank
don't
you
know
so
if I
much.
answered the question about budget or going over budget, but yeah.
Yeah, you did, you did. Being creative is more important than just doing numbers, just keeping numbers in check.
Yeah, yeah, that is very important. Like I also produce ads. I know how Excel sheet also gives me a lot of pressure, but it's also important to jam and let them create something special. That feeling is what we kind of always, I personally search on set, magic between shots. So yeah,
Mm, nice.
because cinema is an
So,
illusion. So I mean, I don't know how to. It's not logical that you'll put so much money and you'll get so much. Because after Lagan, I mean, Amir actually made all successful films. Yeah, I don't have an example where his film flopped, which he produced. Yeah, because Thugs of Hindustan he didn't produce. So yeah,
yeah, Yash Raj produced, correct.
I don't think his production house had any flops as far as I can remember.
when they made Dhobi Ghat, they were clear that they want to make it in a 2 crore or a 3 crore budget. Or even when they co-produced Talash, they knew that Talash is not a commercial film. It's not your Bajrangi Bhaijaan or Ekta Tiger. So that is like he's been very brave in terms of choices. But what the Kerala industry, Malayalam industry is doing is out of the box. Like we are here worried, like our writers and Hindi films are just, we are worried, and it's great because here in India we have international quality ka cinema in terms of writing, performance, everything, sound design, music, visuals. Watch all Fahd Fasil's movies. Yeah, I'm
Well,
sure you have seen.
we would love to hear more on it, but due to the time constraints,
Yeah,
I would formally end it and formally give you a vote of thanks.
sure, sure.
So,
Thank
on
you.
behalf of the PGBBL class of 2022 and BL Insight Circle, we thank you for providing your insights on how it's more about intangibles, understanding, delivering from passion rather than just looking at the hard numbers. Thank you, sir. We
Yeah.
have so many learnings. I can still, it's still, it's 12:45. I have some morning presentation at 9:30 and I still, want to hear more. However, in
I,
the interest of time, we conclude
yeah,
this.
I'll also share one thing which happened to me last year. So I was one of the 6 filmmakers selected from India by the US Department to visit USA in 2020 Jan. And in
Mm,
February, when I was in USA, we visited 6, 7 cities. In February, we went to a museum, and there we had a conversation with the people who run the museum. And that was the time and day and moment where I realized the value of myself and an artist, because what they told us in that huge museum, people who are depressed, people who got cancer, they come to the museum, they spend like hours, there are floors, like it's a huge museum, and they go as a different person, like it's like a therapy. So again, it's art is what changes us. So that day I felt that I'm contributing to the world, because uske pehle kya lagta tha, I just thought that cinema is only about validation, being a star, just like showing off, and I'm a cool filmmaker like Tarantino. Because when you are young, you want to be a cool filmmaker, but now you realize as you grow older that all of us are responsible to make this world a better place. So me as an artist, I'm choosing this. You are also going to do tomorrow when you make billions of money. I'm sure you will donate and do charity. So I feel all of us are doing great work, and art is intangible, like I mentioned, but it changes something within you. It heals you. Music feel hota hai. When you are low, you listen to music. So it's inspirational, and I think what I'm doing is very special. Same with you guys. Yeah, yeah. I'll keep quiet now.
So that's it from this episode of BL Insights podcast. Thank you all.
Thank you, Dheer. Thank you, Akshat, for calling me. Thank you.
thank you so much.